Hello, travelers. I'm Wheelchair Jimmy, and I'm rolling through Las Vegas, Nevada today. I thought I'd give you some accessibility tips if you're coming to Las Vegas for the very first time. Las Vegas and the Strip, it's located in a valley surrounded by mountains, but the city itself and the Strip, very level, very easy to navigate if you're in a wheelchair. The city itself has done a great job when it comes to accessible transportation. The metro buses, the deuce buses, which are those double-deck buses, the monorail, the trams, are all very wheelchair accessible. There are also a number of wheelchair accessible taxis in Las Vegas. When visiting the Las Vegas Strip and some of these massive casino hotels, some with up to 4,000 rooms, you'll find most are very wheelchair accessible. The casinos, the restaurants, just getting around, accessibility is terrific. Now, you'll find some stairs, some escalators, but generally you'll find these large commercial elevators just really easy to navigate around town. One of the casino hotels I didn't care for was Caesar's Palace, where they had installed one of those dreaded small hydraulic lifts between the casino area and the shopping area, and my party, well, we had to wait 20 minutes for someone to come and operate it. No one ever came, we went a different way. I'd suggest you avoid Caesar's Palace. Now, if you want to roam around Las Vegas Boulevard, it's about 2 miles from one end of the Strip to the other. Not bad. Now, if you want to drive it in the afternoon or evening, I tried that. It took me 30 to 45 minutes. Some big crowds. Perhaps not the best approach. You can also walk it, roll it. 2 miles isn't that bad. But to get across Las Vegas Boulevard and other key intersections, they have these massive walkways, and that's the only way to get across the street. Now, the city has installed these large elevators on both sides. So you take the elevator up, you go across the walkway, take the elevator down. It's slow, it's inconvenient, but it is very accessible. So if you're strolling around down there on Las Vegas Boulevard and decide to go into some of those casinos, well, some of them are set back a quarter mile or so, and some have a steep incline just to get to the main entrance. So it can be a challenge, not that much of a problem, but just be aware. One of the best ways I found to get around were the trams. There are 2 trams, both are free. One goes from the Luxor to the Excalibur to the Mandalay Bay. The other one goes from the Aria to the Bellagio to the Monte Carlo and Vdara. You just go right up the elevator and into the tram. It fits any size wheelchair. And they run every couple minutes, they're free, and it's my favorite mode of Las Vegas transit. You can also take the monorail, which goes to a number of properties. You buy a 1 to 7 day pass. It's not free, but it's very wheelchair accessible. There are a number of city attractions in and around Las Vegas, and one of my favorites is the Hoover Dam. It's located about 25 miles southeast of the city. Now, when you get to Hoover Dam, you'll find this massive parking structure just as you arrive that's built into the side of the mountain. It's wheelchair friendly, but you don't want to miss it. If you pass it, there's really no place to turn around, no place for a U-turn, and all the other parking structures are up significant grades. When I got there at 11 o'clock, it was already full, so I'd suggest getting there early. Now, the Hoover Dam Visitor Center is wheelchair accessible, and there are accessible restrooms and elevators. However, the tour itself is not wheelchair accessible. But it's a great experience. It was built back in the Depression, dedicated by Franklin D. Roosevelt, and it's a real man-made engineering marvel. I just loved it. Back to the Las Vegas Strip, Madame Tussauds is a very popular attraction in Vegas. To get there, well, it's located right next to the Venetian. You can't get there from the Venetian, however, so you come outside back to Las Vegas Boulevard, you look for the Sephora retail shop, and there's an elevator stuck back there in the corner. So take the elevator up to the 2nd floor, buy your ticket, get back on the elevator, and go to the 3rd floor for the attraction. Now, this elevator, I think, is the slowest I've ever been on. It was so frustrating, I'd suggest you avoid Madame Tussauds. And frankly, they were not very friendly. At least to me, they were almost rude. And don't even think about calling them on the phone, where the wait times are at least 30 minutes. But if you have to go to Madame Tussauds, it is accessible. You can also go to Fremont Street and the Fremont Street Experience. Now, Fremont Street is located a couple miles outside of town. It's an older area, and as a result, the hotels and casinos are much, much older. And to be honest, this area is not nearly as accessible as the properties you'll find on the Las Vegas Strip. So if you want to crisscross between the casinos and Fremont Street, which is the whole idea behind the Fremont experience, well, there are stairs at multiple locations. I also found many of those dreaded small hydraulic lifts, which I just hate, located between the casino and their restaurants. Also, a number of the casinos had restrooms that were not wheelchair accessible. So I would suggest, if you can, avoid the Fremont Street area. It is less expensive, but it's not nearly as accessible as the Las Vegas Strip. So a couple other quick tips. The weekday rates are much cheaper, almost half the price of the weekend rates. Also, there are many properties that are smoke-free. A lot of these casinos have a lot of smoke. So if that's a concern, there are many smoke-free options. So come visit Las Vegas. It is one fun city. I hope you'll also visit wheelchairjimmy.com, where we'll tell you which hotels, casinos, restaurants, city attractions are accessible, and which properties to avoid. Roll on, America!